So we know that a Man of Steel 2 was in development after the first film, and of course work started on a Green Lantern reboot that was put in motion by WB. But this is really the first time where we're hearing anything more in regards to what these projects would have been or could have been outside of, hey, they're happening up until they weren't. So let's get into that. As most of you know, the journey of the DCEU is a long and complicated road to say the least. I did make a giant video on this, the rise and fall. It kind of covers all the basics from the start to its ultimate demise, so I would suggest you check that out if you haven't. But let's talk about what was going on. So obviously, there was tons of stuff in development. There was a whole slate that was revealed alongside Batman v Superman, and more than half those projects never came out. Chief among them was, of course, Green Lantern, and at one point we know Man of Steel 2 was happening. Well, if you guys remember, after Zack Snyder left, after the release of Mission Impossible Fallout, Christopher McQuarrie approached WB, and him and Henry Cavill both wanted to make a new Man of Steel 2, as Henry Cavill was the one that convinced him that he should pitch it, as he thought he could handle Superman better than Zack Snyder, and that he should also pitch Green Lantern. So he reveals that he in fact did. And he says that one of the things that they were going for was absolutely incredible, that they were going to go bigger, they were going to go better, and that the story was really going to be at the heart of everything Superman. Now, of course, we don't have any further details, but it was rumored and heavily suggested that Brainiac would finally come into play, and that that's the direction that they were going in. So this would honestly track, especially with Henry Cavill previously stating that he wanted to explore Brainiac and the destruction of Krypton from that point of view. And since he's the one that convinced him to make a pitch, this is more than likely what it was. But then he says he also pitched Green Lantern, and he says it was a tough one, but he believes that the concept he came up with was great, and that there was a lot of stuff going on. No, you don't have infinite power, you got a battery, you gotta juggle that. And to him, he says there was a couple problems, but they solved them. How to do the powers, how to do the costume, and how to make it feel good and look real. And he says that one of the biggest things that he was trying was just, how do we tackle both of these characters and make them both work together? So it sounds like that he was definitely pitching sort of a new idea for how to pick up the pieces for the DCEU with Man of Steel 2 and then Green Lantern. He then goes back to Man of Steel and says that the opening act of the film was 5 minutes of no dialogue. It was like the movie Up. And he says it sets up exactly everything that makes Superman tick, that makes him who he is, who he's afraid of, what he's afraid of the most, and that this sets the film in motion on a emotional roller coaster ride that was absolutely extraordinary, but they'll never get to tell their story. So in my opinion, this sounds like that they were kind of paralleling what ended up at the time happening in Superman and Lois anyway, with the opening and getting right to the gut punch. But as he says, it's all in the past and it's not like it's ever going to happen. But at least we're learning a couple more things, and one of them is we were getting a Man of Steel 2, just it wasn't going to be Zack Snyder in any way. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will, and if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.